There was a time when I prayed for a completely different life. I prayed for peace, for healing, for stability, for work that felt meaningful, for a home that felt safe, for mornings that didn't begin with anxiety, and evenings I didn't need to escape from. Back then, I imagined those prayers would be answered in one extraordinary moment, one open door, one opportunity, one breakthrough that would make everything finally feel different. But that's not how it happened. The life I prayed for arrived quietly. So quietly, I almost missed it. Because answered prayers don't always announce themselves. Sometimes they simply become the way you live. For most of my life, I measured where I was by how far I still had to go. The next goal, the next opportunity, the next version of myself. I lived with this quiet belief that happiness was always waiting somewhere ahead of me. So I kept moving, working, planning, building, believing that one day I would finally arrive. But there has a way of moving. You reach one goal and another appears. You survive one difficult season and immediately start preparing for the next. You pray for peace, then become too busy to notice when it arrives. Looking back now, I don't think I was chasing success. I was chasing permission. Permission to slow down. Permission to feel proud. Permission to enjoy the life I had worked so hard to build. And the heartbreaking part was that no one else was withholding that permission. I was. Then one ordinary morning, nothing changed, but I saw everything differently. The other morning, I was sitting on my balcony with a cup of my favorite hot tea. The city was just beginning to wake up. The dogs were still quiet. There wasn't anything extraordinary happening. No celebration, no milestone, no exciting news. Just another ordinary morning. And then a thought quietly found its way into my heart. Years ago, I prayed for a life that felt exactly like this. I sat there for a moment, trying to remember that woman, the woman who prayed for peace, who prayed for stability, who prayed for healing, who prayed for purpose, who prayed for mornings that didn't begin with fear, who prayed for a home that felt safe, and who prayed for work that mattered. She had no idea what the answer would look like. She only knew she wanted life to feel different. Sitting there, I realized something that brought tears to my eyes. I wasn't waiting for that life anymore. I was living it. Nothing in my life changed that morning. Only my perspective did. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. The more I paid attention, the more answers I began to recognize. I used to imagine answered prayers looking dramatic. Big moments, life-changing news, doors suddenly opening, everything falling perfectly into place. But that's not how it happened. The answer arrived quietly. It looked like healing. It looked like peace. It looked like waking up excited for an ordinary Wednesday. It looked like sitting on my balcony with a hot cup of my favorite tea, feeling completely content with nowhere else I needed to be. It looked like building work that reflected my values. It looked like having the freedom to show up for my parents when they needed me. It looked like caring for my body instead of expecting it to carry everything forever. It looked like creating stories that helped another woman feel less alone. It looked like finally feeling at home inside of my own life. And maybe that's why I almost missed it. Because I was expecting fireworks while God was giving me sunrise. The life I used to pray for didn't arrive all at once. It arrived one healed decision, one boundary, one ordinary morning, one faithful step at a time. And once I recognized one answered prayer, I started seeing them everywhere. It's funny. I spent so many years asking God to change my life. Looking back now, I think He was changing me. Because the condo didn't suddenly become more beautiful. The sunrise didn't suddenly become brighter. The hot tea didn't suddenly taste better. The mornings didn't become quieter. I became present enough to finally notice them. Maybe answered prayers don't always arrive as new blessings. Sometimes they arrive as new eyes. There was a time I believed joy would arrive after everything fell into place. After the career, after the relationship, after the money, after the breakthrough. Now, joy finds me while I make the coffee, walking my dogs, calling my parents, editing another documentary, watching the sun disappear behind the Atlanta skyline. None of these moments would have impressed the younger version of me. Today, they are the moments I treasure most because this is what I was really praying for. Not a perfect life, a peaceful one. And peace has a way of changing what success looks like. If I could sit beside the woman I was 10 years ago, I wouldn't tell her to worry less, or work harder, or hurry. I'd simply tell her this: one day you're going to wake up, look around, and realize you've been living the life you spent years praying for. Not because everything became perfect, but because you finally became present. Maybe that's true for you too. Maybe the life you've been asking for is already quietly unfolding. Maybe today's ordinary morning is tomorrow's answered prayer. All you have to do is slow down long enough to see it. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. I hope this documentary reminds you that sometimes the greatest blessings aren't the ones we receive. They are the ones we finally recognize. Until next time, keep building a life you don't need a vacation from, love.